Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another amazing episode of Networking and Beyond. Today, we have with us a very special guest. Now, this guest is just amazing in terms of his personality because I still remember the first time I ever met him. I was completely sold by his personality. I knew that what he was saying, he was a complete expert in. An expert in GST, and some of his clients and his inner circle people call him Mr. GST. If you're wondering what Mr. GST is, it simply means Guru Simplifies Tax. So ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for our next guest on this amazing show, Mr. Gurumurthy. Welcome, Gurumurthy sir, to this amazing show. It's really a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Today, I'm so happy that I have an expert on a subject that I have zero knowledge about. Okay, I don't want to say zero, but I have very minimalistic knowledge about, and it is not very intriguing to me. But I'm quite interested to know how you take on a subject like this. And before we get into the podcast, are you excited?
Very much. Very much.
Sir Gurumurthy sir, I have one question for you.
Yes.
The first question is, I would never choose a field like this because its numbers are quite complicated and I found it boring during college. But I want to know, why did you choose this field of tax and GST and all of that?
Actually, maybe when I was small, 7th standard, 8th standard onwards, I was always fascinated by the way people were really following the central union budget and how people really read the news, follow it very carefully and things like that. Since I didn't understand, my brother clearly explained to me in detail what's the importance, how does each budget make an impact on individual people. That explanation actually pulled me off, and that's how I liked to be a commerce man. That's how I became a first non-science graduate in my conduct.
That's fantastic. So Gurumurthy sir, now that you're into this, you said you're not the first member who is a non-science graduate, and now you're the first one. Were you always planning to start a business, at least once you realized that commerce is your thing? Were you always planning to start a business, and how did that journey start?
Actually, it's all knowledge sharing is something that I always liked. I always shared with a lot of people. I never had a thought of doing a business as a whole, but I think business is just a coincidence.
Oh, that's fantastic. Because, many people, they start with that, but I feel, you've embraced it as it came along.
Yes,
that's
very
why
nice.
we
We are a knowledge basis company.
Sir, so there are a lot of people who do the same work, GST and tax and all of these things. What makes you and your firm stand out from the rest? But I'm just asking, what is your USP?
We are an accounting firm and a taxation firm.
Okay.
Process-driven company is our skill.
Okay.
From the time you make a first entry to the balance sheet, how it makes.
Okay.
End of the day, this is derived the time that the statutory auditors spend time on the actual accounting done by him. Our yardstick is every time the next year auditor comes in, they'll have to spend at least 10 to 12% less than that. That's how we constantly look at improving. That's our USP.
Okay, that's fantastic. So any other USPs that you would want to give a quick mention apart from that?
Certainly, yes. Our team is very skillful. Knowledge base is completely yes. And our energy and is something that definitely everybody likes it. Because we do have a lot of personal data belong to the company and information, holding it very closely is an integrity that is also there. So our client appreciate these points.
Oh, that's fantastic, sir. What are the 3 must-knows about taxation for an entrepreneur?
Taxable payment,
Okay.
due date for tax payment,
Okay.
and tax filing due date. These 3 something that is there. You need not worry about how much tax, how to calculate. Somebody is there to calculate, but I think the commitment to payment tax, commitment towards filing tax returns, and also payment of taxes is important.
So can you give me a line about each, if you can?
Certainly, yes. In every business, there are multiple type of taxes are applicable. It could be an income tax, it could be GST. Everything has certain rates applicable based on their own businesses. I think that's something that every entrepreneur must know. All taxes need not be prepaid. So the question is, when is actually due is also something that he should also be aware, irrespective whether he has another competent person or not. He also should know that. And the most important thing is also he should know what is the due date for filing tax returns. Tax, calculation of tax, payment of tax, and tax filing are three different activities. They must know all these things. Non-compliance is very, very costly. For adhering to these adhering to these compliances is always beneficial to every entrepreneur.
Okay, that's fantastic, sir. So I think you really simplified the three-step process, and I think most of the entrepreneurs who are watching should understand that no matter what you know or don't know, these are basics things that you do know, and I'm happy that I do know a little bit about that. Sir, so coming to my most important question, sir, GST was a new move introduced in the market. A lot of people welcomed it. A lot of people did not welcome it with open arms. Now, first of all, I want to know what is GST according to you, because you're the expert, and is it any good for us at large?
Very much. It'll be a little longer. I'll take a few more minutes.
Please.
Number one, I think it all started as early as '93 when the industrialization started by the government at that point of time, and that was a game changer for India as a whole. Indian software firms, ITS sector specifically, got a huge benefit, and we were significantly benefited. I mean, the whole country is benefited. Through that, entire world started looking at India as an option for investment.
Okay.
So that is step one. So everybody, it pulled the Indians' attention to India. When it's brought in there, people were really worried about the method and the taxation system that we have in India. It was quite complicated. We have service tax, we have central excise duty, various type of CSTs, and it was differed from state to state. It was complicated to not just a foreigner, even to Indian businessmen as well. Sometimes it was not profitable as well. So that's why people didn't want to really do that. In order to encourage people to come forward and invest, or people existing business to have a clean business, simple business. Basically, it's a simplification of taxation is what is done.
Okay.
So various type of taxation has been come together and made it as goods and services tax is what is called a GST. So this is a game changer once again from the tax point of view.
Okay.
This is very important step. This is very, very important stage. I know there has been certain difficulties in the initial days. There were also certain faced by the assessees or the people who will end up paying taxes. There was certain confusion in understanding, and there was also a resistance to move from the existing VAT system to the GST system. But I think it gets solved. We already started seeing some positive results as an end user.
Okay.
We start getting more and more. I'm sure it's a period of time. Once it settles down, we all see the greatest one.
Okay. So I also believe that when you introduce something into the market, something like GST, not everybody has the kind of awareness that you would need. Now, somebody like you who's the expert, you'll know about it. But I personally feel that there's some amount of confusion that is there out there. What do you know what this kind of confusion people have? Because you'll be meeting a lot of clients and you'll be meeting a lot of experts. What's the kind of confusion, and do you have an answer for it?
Certainly, yes. People like to really look at, people have seen the clause, these tax laws as well, but really want to put it differently. For example, if I take a paper is what is called, it's classified under one, and there is a different tax rate under a VAT. Okay. Little thickness paper is called, according to me, it's paper, but according to you, it is a board. So board has a different one. Similarly, I give you another example. Wire is one rate. It's categorized one way. Multiple wires becomes a cable. Cable is classified different way. So people really took the advantage of which way to go and do that. They sell cable but sell it at wire name or what it is. I mean, do you respect all these people? This is how it all happened. That's where most of the litigations are there in every department today.
Okay.
Here the classification is made. It's called HSN classification. When it comes to wire, whether it is 1 wire, 2 wire, 10 wires or cable, it's classified on the same, and more or less the same rates are applicable. Okay. Here, I think they address the classification. This confusion has been sorted out. Fantastic. That's how it is all there.
Fantastic.
Another example I would like to give. In Malaysia, when they introduced GST long ago, they had a similar situation. They had a similar confusion as well. But government allowed them to use as it is, as it is. 2 years, they just did not change anything. But at the back end, they kept improving the systems as the people wanted it. At that one particular day, they said, okay, start using this system. What was there earlier? Scrap it. They just started. Today, in the last 11 years, how Malaysia has grown. It's become a destination now.
Very true. So, and I can definitely agree with you on that, as not as an entrepreneur, but also as a common man. Because when GST was introduced, it was frenzy, right? Everybody was all over the place. People did not understand the concept. There were more critics than people in support. But as now that the system has changed, it's also to understand that the GST to take its full effect will take time.
Absolutely, yes.
Right?
It happened even with VAT system. When sales tax system was there, when they brought in the VAT system in 2003, there again there was resistance, there was some confusion. Today, people are opting for VAT.
Correct.
Similarly, few years down the line, I think it just once they settle down, I think people would definitely welcome this particular change.
Very true. I'm pretty optimistic from the examples that you gave me also, simply because that, initially we fear change.
Yes.
It is that fear of change and the fear of system that is changing, because you again have to learn, you have to grow and do a lot of these things. So I particularly believe that as time passes, as awareness grows, everybody will take GST, like you said, on a welcome basis.
Yes.
And move and take, in fact, advantage of the system and do a lot of other things, right?
Absolutely, yes. To the end user, will definitely like it. The prices come down.
Yes. So thank you so much. I really think, in these few 2 to 3 questions, we were able to understand quickly about your business, about your expertise, and about your areas of interest. But now let us move on from business to one of the most important channels of business, right? And this is a channel that brought us together.
Oh.
Yes. And the channel is called BNI.
Yes.
And we have a segment in this interview where we try finding out some of these BNI things. Sir, my first question is, you've been a member who've, at least in the last 2 to 3 months, have been able to give your fellow members some really good referrals, some really good business, and this has brought you to the possibly the healthiest side of a business member into green light, right? Was there any secret mantra behind how to get there? Or what was your side of the story to this?
I was always on an amber line. That's one level below, but that was fine. That was always there. But I think there are some months it came down. But I think I made a conscious effort to get into green. More importantly, give members. I wanted to really be active on that particular side.
Okay.
That's a conscious effort. Nothing else.
So you're just saying be active, stay conscious, and there's nothing more to that.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, 3 takeaways from your BNI journey?
3 takeaway from BNI. Many. I think one of the greatest thing I've learned from BNI is constant learning. That's been in my life and also from BNI as well. It's a constant learning. Learn and learn every day.
Correct.
That's number 1. Number 2 is that I think give. Again, this is what I learned even my childhood days as well. Give first and the more will come back to you.
Correct.
That's what we also tell even in BNI. That's something that definitely, yes, that's quite inspiration. And most important third in is that I think the horizon, after joining BNI, the kind of horizon I got in terms of friends and in terms of connections that I got in the business growth is phenomenal. So that's something amazing. The networking, the strength of networking is amazing.
Yeah,
I liked it.
They say your network is your net worth.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really like the points, and I think there's a very strong takeaway. It's give us gain, build a strong network because it becomes your net worth, and finally lifelong learning.
Yes.
I think anybody, even who's not in business or in BNI, when follows this principle, is on a way to success, is on the path to success.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely,
Yeah?
yes. Yeah. These are all tested formulas. Fine.
Very true. I also feel that this not only changes your professional career, but it changes a bit of your personality as well.
Yes.
Do you believe so, that these 3 principles also change your personality in life?
Very much. The whole mindset will change. You are not in BNI, get to the BNI mindset. The whole personality will change. You will start thinking of how I can help my fellow members. That's the first change that you will have.
Correct.
Second is, okay, what is it that I did not learn, or I need to keep learning something new, because you always interact with many new members.
True.
And every new member has a different type of challenge, because they are come from a different type of businesses as a whole. So it's always there. So updation, which is the learning, and of course the constant this one, and more importantly, to build relationship, one of the most important thing is to have a good conversation with people.
Very true. It's to be a friend.
And also, and how do you communicate that is also there.
Yes.
And it's a gradual way you learn this communication skill from people like you all, which is very strong. So very nice.
My pleasure. I'm happy from one expert I'm getting that, you know.
Absolutely. I
Thank
like
you
a lot.
so much.
Yeah.
Sir, do you believe that there is an ultimate process of referral generation? If yes, what has been yours? How have you been able to generate referrals and all of that?
Referrals is nothing but a constant. It's basically goes by only very important thing. One is pure execution of your work. Committed and an execution of work will actually build confidence from fellow member who has referred you. Actually do that. I have one beautiful example to share. I have one client who had some difficulty. We were doing some central excess related work and STPR related work with one company, and we solved their biggest worry, what they had, very efficiently and very effectively. As we have done it very well.
Okay.
Again, for them it's a big job. It wasn't that a great job, but I think from then on, it's been a huge success with that company. And whoever leaves that company and joins a bigger organization, always call me. I got around 9 clients from that particular company alone, and we are working with them. This is the 10th year that we are working.
Okay,
with
so
them.
this is the story that we were talking about previously. So
This is different.
this is different, is it? So can you give me a little more insight about this story? I mean,
This is basically, this is the world number 7 company at that point of time.
Okay.
This is about 7, 8, 10. This is the 10 years ago. World number 7 at that point of time. They're into medical transcription company. They were working exclusively on STPI, which is again another tax saving option that they can use it. We will help them in actually managing this STPI related tasks and get the tax efficient, huge tax benefits and things like that for 2 consecutive years. We also help them in actually setting up their SEZ in Coimbatore. In fact, I set up the first SEZ in Bangalore for that matter. So that way the company started suddenly seeing a huge benefit in getting into this particular policy changes that is there in the government, which in turn helped me to actually do that. So after that, suddenly they had some taxation in a sales tax problem. We solved. They have some professional tax problem. We solved. Then kept on solving one or the other, constantly growing. So that way it helped me actually.
Okay.
That company, till now we are working with them for the last 10 years. And whoever leaves that company and joined a different company as such, by default they'll call me. I have this company, I have the new company as well, which ends make it around 9 companies as a whole.
That's fantastic, sir. So now I want to relate back and ask you a question. There's a reason people call you back, right? It's because they have a certain opinion that's formed.
Yes.
They have a certain trust that is already there with you, and they know that that problem can be solved. So this also has been a lot of propelling effect for you to get business.
Yes.
So my next question is, can you give me a story of one of your biggest give or gain through BNI? Right?
I'll give the first with give.
Okay.
I have a fellow chartered accountant in Bangalore who is actually has a client who's into garment segment. We have done a lot of work in garment segment.
Okay.
That company was actually, when we had a call, it's on the verge of search and seize position.
Okay.
I repeat, the search and seize position.
As in, like,
They were shutting the office because of certain tax
okay.
irregularity, whatever it is. So I called that person around 10:30 and phone and spoke to the officer. He refused to accept me because I'm a consultant at that point of time. I gave few names as to how reliable I am to the department as a whole, of their own department, joint commissioner. And I told him I'll call you after 20 minutes. So I called them after 20 minutes. At that point of time, I realized that yes, they've agreed to take some writing saying that within 10 minutes, they allowed the company to go back and continue, and the employees can go back and work. That is a big change. And after that, in about 20 days to 1 month time, we solved completely and regularized the entire transactions as a whole to the best of the department requirement and such that. I think that is a big I gave, which in turn resulted in my name getting. He spread my name like anything. Today I have friends across 51 chartered accountants across India are working with me on that.
Okay.
So most of them use me as a Bangalore branch.
So you also said when you were telling me the story that with this you had 7 other similar businesses who called you back and said we have a similar problem and can you help us?
Yes, they just there. That evening was simple. This is a different exercise actually.
Okay.
This is during the central excise tenure, where
Okay.
we were working on one of the biggest brand,
Okay.
India's one of the biggest brand there, and we were working on central excise, and department had certain queries, and some intelligence came to that office, and they had to see. So I handled that one independently on that particular task. 5 days, the intelligence did not able to find a single fault in the process that we followed in terms of tax evasion. There's nothing that was there. They came, another 5 set came, special quad, they came to ensure how to say, because it's a very large firm, multi crore businesses that happens every year, multi crore of tax that they pay. At the end of it, you will be very surprised. They ended up asking me, I want to write a note, otherwise Joint Commissioner don't accept it. Please tell me what can I write. I gave them a small this thing, and then we ended up paying a very below 1,000 rupees of tax and then closed it. That evening has become big news in the Joint Commissioner and the entire range as a whole.
Wow.
That evening alone, in the afternoon or evening at 4 o'clock, the meeting got over. But about 7 o'clock, I got around 7 different companies. They simply called up and said, they are also in the government company. They said, sir, please come, do the work for us. Same job, same fees. That's it, no discussion.
Well, that's really nice, isn't
We
it?
still work with few of them today. Even today, we are working with at least 3 of them. Despite garment industry going to this down, we're still working with 2 or 3 of them. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I think that's a great success story to share.
Yes.
Thank you for that. And I think it gives a lot of people, especially like me, who's new into the BNI process, some amount of faith that, that as you go stick to the process and you believe in your own skills, it is going to come, right?
Certainly, yes. The process and the documentation Excel spreadsheet that we maintained was used by the audit team of Central Excise those days as a benchmark for it. That's an amazing success for us. I've taken certain session to the Central Excise people to train them on how to evaluate and read the numbers.
That's fantastic, sir. I think that stands as a testimony to who you are and what kind of knowledge you possess. I really think that is of great value for us. And a small message for people who have not yet joined BNI.
Do you have a business? Do you have a mechanism in your office where you can generate referrals regularly so that you have a constant business activity to happen regularly? If you have it, continue and strengthen that process. If not, please join BNI.
Wow.
That's my message.
But rest of them just ended up saying, if not, you just join BNI. But I like how you added the value. And see, I mean, it depends from person to person, right?
True.
One person, what their channel of referrals works differently. For the other person, it works in a different way. Sir, a story on somebody who's added some amount of value to you in your BNI journey. This is my last question on BNI. Any person who's added a lot of value to you in your story of BNI?
Many. But it's difficult to choose any 1 or 2 names, basically. I think I'm truly inspired by our chapter launch director, Annie.
Okay.
And our Chetan is definitely his great friend, and I learned a lot from him.
Okay.
And I also learned a lot from a trainer, Leena, as well as Amrut for that matter. I definitely like all of them.
Okay.
It's very and Ram Santani as well. It's difficult to choose one of them, but they're all great.
That's fantastic, sir. And I can definitely vouch for a couple of them, especially Ms. Annie and Ram Santani, sir. I've had great conversations with them as well. And I can only assure you that, if anybody wants to have a conversation, you will have some takeaway from that. A lot of takeaway, yeah. So thank you so much for answering our first 2 segments, which is about business and BNI. Now it's going to be a little more relaxed. It's going to be in terms of rapid fire questions. So let's sit back and have some fun.
Okay.
We have got a few questions, and are you ready, sir?
Yes, very much.
Okay. Sir, for my first question to you is, what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning?
My business goal and my clients' commitments.
fantastic. Name another business profession you wouldn't mind getting into.
Either a teacher or a counselor.
Fantastic. What's your favorite part of your current job?
Process improvement.
Process improvement. Okay, that means you keep improving the process over time.
Existing, yeah. Every day there is a keep changing in business. Business become dynamics regularly. Keep improvement. In a way, this helps our own team members to strengthen their own skills
Very true,
and
very
improve on that. So that's what it is all about. So end of the day, they become when they qualify and move on, they become better employees to whichever the large company that they want to work.
Very true, sir. I'm pretty sure I'd agree with you on that because any business should grow on that lines.
Yeah.
Sir, name 3 business leaders you would want to have a discussion with over dinner.
There are many. Undoubtedly, number one is Ratan Tata.
Okay.
I mean, I respect that entire family. Are great for the kind of contribution they have done to the country. And Sunil Mittal,
Okay.
I liked him the way he's very, very aggressive in this thing. And then, of course, the Sudha Murthy.
Okay. Fair enough. You also were going to mention Raghuram Rajan.
Raghuram Rajan, I wanted to, but I don't know, he's far off. I don't know whether we can meet him. If given a chance, I would definitely like, he is my second choice. Yeah, Raghuram Rajan.
I like how realistic you measured that with. Sir, name, okay, this I've already asked you, but I'll still ask you again. Out of the list of people, if I asked you one BNI member who really inspired you, you gave me 5 people that time, again, pick one out of them.
Annie.
Annie, is it? Okay, that's fantastic. And you want to know something? Annie's getting this is the 3rd pick of Annie being that one member. So
He's a star.
Superstar. If you were given $1 million, sir, what would you do with it?
I first pay a due amount of tax and rest I save it for myself.
I like that answer. I like that answer. If you were given a watermelon, sir, what would you do with it?
I think generally watermelons are big, so I eat a part of it and share it with all the people around me.
That's fantastic. What are some of the most inspirational books or videos that you can recommend to your fellow entrepreneurs?
I think I read my experience with truth, Gandhi's book. That's something I definitely I read more than 10-12 times. I like that book very much. A couple of books written by Abdul Kalam is something that is also I liked it. I recommend people to read it. And of course, there are lots of books by a lot of books are available, and I certainly like many of the documentaries comes in videos, and documentary comes in certain
Like YouTube.
not YouTube basically. Not YouTube basically. Discovery Channel is something.
Oh
that
yeah,
I really
National
like.
Geographic and Discovery Channel have a lot of documentaries.
That's
yeah.
something I love and probably I recommend.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Sir, advice to anybody who's not joined BNI?
I told you, yes. Do you have a mechanism in your office to generate business constantly? Otherwise, then go ahead, improve that process, prosper. If not, join BNI and learn how to do business in BNI.
Fantastic. Sir, how about, so let's go a little more off the beat and see. So what do you prefer, coffee or tea?
Coffee any day.
Coffee gets you up, right?
Yes.
Sir, you prefer indoor sports or outdoor sports?
Outdoor sports.
Outdoor sports. If you could teach one subject in school, what would it be?
Kannada.
Kannada, language teacher. If, any specific movie that you really, I know you're not a big movie buff, but any specific movie that you genuinely like, one movie?
3 Idiots.
Okay.
Or maybe for 3 Idiots is one thing I really liked, or probably Tare Zameen Par is some of those movies. Very emotional movies is what I like. That masala and I don't. Masala,
nice.
actions.
Yeah, it's nice, right? When it's more realistic, when it can appeal to your senses, yes, truly. What is the must-have item? Now, I know everybody has a lot of items in their pocket, but what is that one item in your pocket that you cannot leave your house without?
Mobile phone and a pen and a purse.
Your standard.
Standard.
Sir, what do you prefer wearing, formals or casual wear?
Formal.
Fantastic. What was your worst subject in school?
Biology. I just don't know how to draw pictures. Drawings.
What would you do on a rainy day?
I get drenched. I love getting drenched. And of course, I also keep watching it to see how it, sitting inside the house, I also see how it rains and on the plants and what it makes. Actually, you you really get some beautiful ideas at that point of time. Very, very nice one.
Yes, yes.
You try it. Next time you
Yeah,
try it, right? It's going to be a beautiful experience.
Maybe I haven't watched the rain consciously falling on the plant, but there's something I do very similar to that. So when I go to sleep, sometimes when I have a little bit of disturbance, I go on YouTube and I go with this rainy music. So what happens is this light tinge of music with a background of rain noise in it. And I find it very therapeutic, it's very relaxing and
It is. It is very relaxing. It definitely helps you out in start thinking outside what you have been thinking at this point of time. Seriously.
Sir, last two questions. What do you do to relax?
If it is a morning, I listen to Veda chanting, which is I'm a spiritual person. If it is in the evening, yes, I listen to 1980, 1990, all romantic songs.
That's amazing. So last and final question. If you could make a documentary about anything in this world, what would it be about?
Struggle that have physically challenged people overcome and then be successful in this world.
Yes.
That's going to be the subject on which I would like to say, because physically challenge is not it's just happened because of it's not because of their problem for whatever reasons, but I think they have the desire and willingness to win and stay positive in that. And I like that particular positiveness and the fire inside. If I want to do that, given an opportunity, I would like to shoot that. That could be an inspiration to many others who are keen to grow.
Truly. And even in the real world, we look up to Stephen Hawking and said, how was it even possible, right? And some of the greatest people come from some of the greatest setbacks also.
Certainly. I'll give you another example. Nick Jubek is a name. He has no hands,
no legs, and no limits.
No limits. No limits.
Yes. He's from Australia, right?
Australia, and he's a
motivational speaker.
a motivational speaker, and he's a world number one in terms of his surfing actually.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I think at the end of the day, sir, we are what we think we are. Yeah, and a lot of these limits, irrespective of where it is, if it's in our knowledge about GST, or if our limits is in our own life, or in our business, or our networking capabilities, I think even our limits are created by ourselves.
Absolutely, yes. We only limit ourselves. There is no.
Yes, and for a podcast which did not have certain limits, and we went beyond these boundaries, and today we were able to understand you and your business and your BNI process. Thank you so much for being on this show.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure having you here. And so folks, a bit about GST, a bit about Mr. Gurumurthy, and I'm pretty sure this added a lot of value into your journey of business, BNI, and your life. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for yet another brilliant episode that is coming your way, just like this one. Thank you so much.